Alright, how did you come to playing in bands?
How did I come into playing in the bands?
Yeah.
I think I was in school, and just one thing led to another. I saw this band called Carnage. I went over, I was skateboarding or riding my bike or something, and this guy Tyler's like, yeah man, it's just like, you skate? I was like, yeah, whatever. He's like, yeah, you gotta come see my band. So I went over to his house, and his band was so fucking badass, it was unbelievable, and that's when I really, got into it. I was like, yeah, so I bought a drum set, I went to work, bought a drum set, piece by piece, and put up an ad at the local music store at Chuck Levin's Washington Music Center in Wheat, Maryland. I fucking put up a little ad that said, I'm drummer looking for guitar players into Sodom, Destruction, Creator, fucking Celtic Frost, shit like that. And then Slayer, of course. And then I get a call like about a week later from the guys in Exmortis, Chris Weiser and fucking Brian Working. And we talked and fucking met up and formed Exmortis. So
Cool, hell yeah.
yeah.
How did Diabolic come to fruition?
I had the idea when I was living in Maryland at the Horror of Horrors house. I was like, I even had the idea even before that. But I mean, I just, had to find the right people. So I called Lee Harrison up, and, I was like, look man, I'm going to be moving back down to Florida. And he's like, yeah, I know these guys, I'm going to send them your way. So he sent, Brian and Rut and fucking Paul over to my house. And so they watched me play. They watched me play at my aunt's house.
Right.
In the back room. I had my drums all set up and shit. And I was just practicing and shit. And they were just like, yeah, what's up? I was just like, well, I have this, I had to go watch them play, and they saw me play, and so we had to work out, what we were gonna do.
Right. Hell yeah. What's the coolest thing how'd you get turned into underground music?
Back in that guy Tyler, fucking, his band Carnage, they, he had a whole bunch of fucking, he had all the shit, all the fucking DRI and shit, he had verbal abuse, he had all the shit, right? And so he just put everything on a tape, and he just kept giving me tapes, and trading tapes with me, just giving me tapes, and just got me into it, took me to my first show, was Whiplash.
Nice, fuck yeah.
I think it was on a Power and Pain tour, and this band called In Destroy opened up for him. And so that was fucking my first exposure, just like, getting into a fucking mosh crowd and, everybody helping each other out, picking each other up, and fucking, it was the raddest fucking thing ever, and everything was cool, man. It was just like downtown Washington, D.C.
Hell yeah.
I think At War played too or some shit.
Nice. What's the coolest thing about playing in a band?
Just watching the crowd fucking go crazy. That's all the fucking best thing, because I mean that's what I get out of it the most anyways. That's the coolest thing, watching the crowds fucking jump off fucking the monitors and fucking, you don't want to fucking shit up on stage, but man, the coolest thing is always, watching fucking people on the banisters next to you, fucking jumping off the stage, up in the balconies, fucking people fucking cheering you on and shit, fucking, that know the songs, and you're like way the fucking like San Francisco or fucking wherever you fucking go, man. I mean, Chicago, wherever there's balconies, man. I'm down with the balcony crowd, man. Fucking Utah, fucking, no, where was it? Yeah, it was not Utah, it was Salt Lake City, yeah.
No?
Anyways, yeah.
What's the worst thing about playing in a band?
The other guys that don't contribute money and fucking hold up their end of the deal. You know what I mean? Everybody needs to hold up, their end of the deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
And you can only help out your partner so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, so it's just like making sure, people, need to have their passports and shit. I mean, that was, and be truthful, about it. It's like, man, don't lie. And then you lie for fucking these guys. You know what I mean? You got a guy in the band that lies about it for years, and then you get to the border of fucking Canada, and you're like, oh man, you can't go into the country. No, dude, sorry, I can't. I got warrants out for my rep. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Shit, we're gonna fucking play a fucking show, man. So the best part about being that's the worst part about being in a band.
What is the most memorable show you've ever played?
Oh shit, also, worst part about being in a band is driving through ice and driving on black ice and driving in the snow. That's probably the most brutal part, and the hardest part is having a good driver.
Alright.
So if you don't have a good driver, that really sucks, you know what I mean?
Alright.
But other than that, oh yeah, equipment breaking on stage. That really fucking shit. That shit fucking happens.
Oh yeah.
Right when you fucking get up there, you're ready to fucking play, and fucking man, shit will just break. It won't even turn on or whatever,
Yep.
But anyway, yeah. What were you saying?
What is the most memorable show you've ever played?
Most memorable. Man, there's fucking so many of them, man. When you tour with fucking, the heavy hitters, man, it's really hard, man.
Give me your top 3.
Top 3, fuck, man. Wow, bro, because you don't want to fucking say something and somebody from one of the other cities say,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's so fucking tough, man. You can't just say, oh yeah, one crowd's better than the other. Always love playing fucking the whiskey,
Yeah, hell yeah.
in Hollywood, you know what I mean? Or fuck, right around the corner from there, fucking the Palladium. That fucking place is bad as shit. But, Chicago, the House of Blues, that's fucking a badass fucking place to play. Balconies, but shit, New York, man, there's fucking killer places to play. Fuck, we played the Hard Rocks in New York City, Manhattan. That shit was fucking crazy. Man, shit, fuck. So, then you go the Culture Room down in Miami. That's always fucking fun.
Hell yeah.
And then, over to Europe. I mean, I've only been there once, but I do remember playing London. That was badass. Place called La Loco.
Hell yeah.
It's not open anymore, but I mean, that was a fucking...
Still, yeah, fuck
that
yeah.
was pretty sick. It was like they turned a fucking train station into a fucking club. That
Hell
shit
yeah.
was fucking all diamond plated. It was badass. Germany was badass. Also Holland, Zandam, that was pretty badass, even though my equipment fucking fucked up.
It happens.
San Francisco, Great American Music Hall. That's a badass fucking place to play. There's other places out there though. Texas, any place in Texas is always fun. Houston.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead.
What are your goals as a band?
Always to just keep writing a new record. I mean, the goal is to never stop. You know what I mean? There's just like to always challenge ourselves. It's just like depends. Who's a part of the lineup. Like for this next record, I think the goal is going to be to put out a really professional video. You know what I mean?
Right.
We always do this shit so underground, and there's never a budget. You know what I mean? But
Right.
with technology, we should be able to come up with something. The goal is to put out a badass video because you can reach more people with one video sometimes than you can on a tour. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Depending on, what I mean? But there's still a lot of people out there that don't have the internet. That's why you tour. You know what I mean? There's so many other people out there that aren't connected. So it's going to be our goal, right? This next one is going to be to put out a professional video. So that's the goal.
Oh yeah. Bless you.
Yeah,
I'm editing you. No, I'm editing it anyways. You probably want to hear my questions. So it's all good. Do you make money or lose money playing in a band? Everyone laughs when I ask that.
Honestly, man, I'll be honest with you. It's never been about the money for me. I've always loved to play it regardless of, of any of that shit.
Yeah, me
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
I
So,
gotcha.
you know what I mean? So I never looked at money. So money, yeah, if you're fucking, yeah, we made a lot of fucking money, man. I mean, shit. it's just when you have to cash out at the end of the night and you have to pay your taxes to the venue.
Right.
So, fuck yeah, we fucking would make killer money. I mean, those tours, we made a lot of money, but that all went back into the rental, and it all went back into re-upping and either merch or,
it should.
And all that other stuff. Yeah, so we definitely generated a lot of money, but it all went back to the rental van, at the end of the fucking tour, man.
Right.
We fucking pulled 12 grand, 15 grand in 30 days. You can do it if you're fucking brutal. I mean, if your band's fucking badass, you know what I'm saying? But you just, we made a lot of money, honestly. I mean, when we were doing those tours, it's just, you know what I mean, as far as like, it just has to be consistent. You can't just go on the road for fucking a month and then come back home for 6 months and then go back out on the road.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're out on the road for fucking 6 months, 7 months, you're gonna fucking come home with a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not paying rent.
Right.
Yeah, you might have some expenses here and there, but you could do pretty fucking good if you stay, if it's every month, you know what I mean? If it's not like any time off.
Right.
Back to back to back. Maybe 2 weeks off in between at the most. But yeah, sorry, that was long, drawn out.
All good, bro. All good. Outside of being in a band, how do you make a living?
I just recently picked up a job in sales. So it's been really fun because it's simple, man. You get on the phone, you talk to people, you log in, and fucking it's air conditioned, fucking. And most people want their lawns done, so it's funny, man. You fucking pull up a satellite image of somebody's house, and you're like, you measure it, and then after that, the computer does all the rest. So it's a pretty kickback. I don't even really consider my job work.
Right, all right.
Because as long as I get there on time and take my breaks on time, it's not like digging a ditch or moving furniture or doing any heavy labor or anything like that. So I don't really consider my job a job. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Hell yeah. No, I'm just trying to show that we're real and we all have to work real jobs. So that's what.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
No one's living the rock star dream. We all have to work jobs. So.
Oh, absolutely.
What is the biggest crowd you've ever played for?
Yeah, man, those are a lot of sold out shows, man. It just depends on venue capacity. I don't really know. We've never played any. Well, you know what? The Milwaukee Metal Fest would probably be something ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like
right.
3 balconies. It was like it was a lot of people there. It was middle of the day.
Hell yeah.
That was probably one of our first shows. You know what I mean? Because that was a huge festival.
Nice.
But when you're on tour. Fuck, man. Morbid Angel took us out to Texas. We played this fucking big ass fucking festival. I forget what it's called, but there's a lot of people.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't really say. I'd say probably about 1,000, 2,000 people. You know what I mean? To be honest.
Hell yeah.
You can't really count. You don't really know who's coming in and out.
Right, yeah.
But it's not very many people. But at the same time, that is a lot of people.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, it just depends on venue capacity. Some venues like Great American Music Hall or Chicago, a lot of them places were, sold out. So,
fuck yeah.
When you say it's sold out, that's when you start looking at the capacity of the venue. Oh, that's 1,500 capacity, and you see it in your rider. You can kind of see it. So I never really wrote down the notes on that, but I should have probably.
It's all good. What's the smallest crowd you've ever played for?
Fuck, man. It was like when we tried to put our own tour together.
Right.
And that's always a trip. It's like, well, that was a trip, but we drove up north and I think we played someplace like Spartanville, North Carolina, something like that. And it was probably about maybe 5-10 people.
Yeah.
There'd be like maybe just the promoter and the sound guy and the band, the local bands that are there.
Right,
you know what I mean? So you can play in front as long as you show up. It's good because you never know what the next night will bring.
Right,
You might play in front of 2 people one night, but then the next night you're playing in front of 200, 300 people.
Yeah.
And then you appreciate it that much more. You're like, oh shit, this is gonna be fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
Last night, we played in front of 2 people, man, and it was a good practice. You know what I mean? So every show, it doesn't matter. It's always good to fucking get out there, because you never know. That next night, you'll be more prepared, you know.
Oh yeah, I actually like your answer on that. I mean, everyone's played small shows, but I really like your answer on that one. That's good. Good answer. Obviously your band tours. Where all have you been?
All over the United States, through Canada. We didn't play Vancouver, but then we played. Where did we play? That's the most important. Where did we play? Okay. Our first shows we did. We played Los Angeles, and then our demo days. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was like the main key to get out to California and New York. Those are main fucking, in Texas. Those were our main fucking focus on that. Then the Metal Fest in Milwaukee that came, and then we got added on to Cannibal Corpse took us out. So if you go on tour with Cannibal Corpse, there's not a city that you're gonna fucking miss.
Right.
Really, you might. I think there was like one show that we missed, like Indianapolis, but that was it. Then I think we missed like Seattle that year, but we hit Seattle the next year. The next time we went out, I think when we went to Europe, we played Germany, Holland, England, Switzerland, Spain, and Portugal.
God damn, that's killer.
Yeah, you go through those countries, it's like driving from here to New York. It's like, yeah, it's like you went through 15 countries. It's not that many, but I mean, it's still,
right.
You get through a lot of countries in Europe, but we did, yeah, those are the places we made it through. Yeah, Germany, even Czech Republic, we played the Czech Republic. They wouldn't let us take the merchandise off the bus to sell the merchandise,
Right.
They have rubles, it's not real money, but dude, the crowd was fucking so appreciative,
Do you have a van, or do you guys rent a van?
Always rent a van. We bought an RV once. That was the biggest mistake ever, because it broke down in Colorado. And if you go through Colorado, it's a mountain. You know what I mean? It's like just driving,
Right.
Colorado is just nothing but uphill. So of course it broke down right there at the bottom, right before we got fucking, and then we had to get a U-Haul box truck.
Right.
So 5 guys in the back of the box truck, and then us 3 in the front.
Right.
So that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
But so you always rent a van, so you have windows to look out of, because that's important, man. Because everybody, you never know, man. I mean, and yeah.
Do you take your own equipment, or do you backline with other bands?
Depends. You want to backline with other bands. Like when we went on the Caribbean tour, they use our backline. You know what I mean? And Network and Monomart, they use our backline. So, those are shows that worked out really cool. So yeah, that's the best way to go.
Oh yeah.
Use one backline. I'll use another drum set. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck whose drum set's on the stage. I'll fucking play. Unless it's just one single bass drum, then I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
I mean, that's not brutal. It's not death metal, and one bass drum is, just that's just wrong.
Yeah.
That's rock and roll.
Right.
But it's not death metal.
Yeah.
So,
If you had to give a new band advice on what you've learned being in bands, what would you say to them?
New bands. Buy the best equipment, and make sure you have it, and buy it, and double it. Buy it. So if you buy a dual rectifier, buy another one.
Yeah.
If you have a drum set, buy another one. If you got a good drum set, buy another. Because you're gonna need backup shit on the road. If you don't have backups on the road, buy. If you got a nice guitar, buy another one, or buy 3 more.
Right.
So, as far as, make sure if you're a drummer, or any musician, you just gotta know. I mean, your rights, and then as a drummer, you gotta know that singer and the songwriter get all the publishing.
Right.
So you can't really bitch if you don't help write the song, and that doesn't mean just sitting behind the drums. So
Right.
you have to actually help compose the song with a guitar, or it's not just humming a riff. It's just like you got to pick up a guitar and show them, so that way you actually wrote something. Because if you don't write, then you don't really have any rights to the song. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So yeah, I mean, I always made sure that I contributed by, picking up the guitar and showing the guys, hey, look, this riff, goes here, and then they'll be like, okay, let's put this riff, put it all together. So then that way, it's you actually have something to show for it. Or because if you don't, you're not gonna be on the song. I mean, look at all the Slayer records. I remember looking at all the Slayer records. It said Hanneman, Kerry King, Hanneman, Kerry. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, dude, that's it. That's like, and that's what they look for, a record. When they do all the breakdowns.
Yep. I know.
It's gonna show. It's gonna show what percentage you wrote, and if you're a drummer and you didn't write anything, you ain't gonna get anything.
Yep.
Unless you actually help contribute to the song. So that's really important to.
Yep. How many releases do you have out?
Did a lot of covers. It's Slayer, a bunch of Slayer covers. So all those are on the wall record. So Slayer, Gemini, Creator, Under Guillotine, fucking. I think I did like 7 covers. So okay, we'll start with Creator, Under the Guillotine. We did Sodom, Sepulchral Voice. Then we did Slayer, what was it? Gemini. Then we did Slayer Killing Fields. And then we did Venom. Fuck, I forgot. Venom Possessed or some shit. And then we did Metallica, The God That Failed. And then we did Destruction, The Ritual.
Nice.
So those are just the cover songs. So you know what I mean? Those tribute.
Yeah.
So then after that, the demos and stuff, it just went from Exmortis, Immortality's End, Descent into Chaos, those 2 demos.
Right.
Then after that I did the Impiety demo. Then after that I did the Horror of Horrors record. So and then those 3 albums or whatever, those 3 records, and then the Necrosis, Actus Centurium on Black Mark Records, and then the Diabolic started. And so Diabolic, fucking Supreme Evil, Subterranean Magnitude, Vengeance Ascending, Chaos in Hell, City of the Dead, and then
Unholy Ghost.
Blastmasters, Twisted Metal, Unholy Ghost, Torrential Rain, and then Excisions of Exorcism for Diabolic Excisions of Exorcism. Yeah.
A lot of them. You got a lot of them.
Yeah, and I'm working on this fucking new one, man.
Hell yeah.
It's a new one, I don't know.
Is your family supportive of your musical career?
Oh, absolutely. They come and fuck. Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
It's really, it's cool because, you get to go back up north and, play, you get to play, and it's just like, just stop off. We always go through we always stop at our family's houses, and, because we're all down here in Florida, so we would always stop and, see our families up north. So yeah, they were really supportive as much as they could be,
Right, hell yeah.
I mean, my dad he taught me how to play drums, so that
Yeah, definitely. Does your job know you play in a band, and are they supportive?
I try never to talk about what I do, you know what I mean? It's just people already kind of know that I fucking, like, oh yeah, I saw you on the internet.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, And then everybody around me starts saying, I saw you on YouTube and shit. I'm like, fuck.
Right.
So I honestly try to really never bring it up to my boss.
Right.
Because if I really need time off, that's going to be unacceptable, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I really, really try not to talk about it. But, some jobs are cool about it. But when I was working for Equifax, I had to leave because I was going to be gone. You have to quit your job when you go on these tours and shit. So they don't like that shit. They want when you going on tour. Oh, you're in a band when you going on tour.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you never really want to bring that shit up. But they're supportive. To a certain extent, but they need. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why are they going to spend the time training you to do the job, and then
you're gonna leave.
You're gonna fucking leave anyways. But I worked at fucking, where was I working at? I was working at samash.com.
Nice.
And man, I remember they hired me and I was like, fuck, that was my dream job, right?
Yeah.
Working at samash.com. I worked at Venomans in Rockville, Maryland for a while too. But when I got samash.com, they were just like, all right, he finally hired me. And then I was like, yeah. He's like, I thought he was going to work me like normal daytime hours. And, like normal, 8 to 5, like in training, you know what I mean? He's no, he puts her from 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. And so, I'm like, this is like really like, wow, mind blowing. I'm like, this is really brutal, man. I was like, this is, I can't believe this. And then I get an itinerary for the Metal Maniacs ball.
Right.
And it went straight through December. And so I showed them the itinerary. And man, they were fucking pissed. I was like, I got to give you my 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
So it all worked out.
Right.
Because they were giving me a schedule that was just really fucked up.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure that I was just going to get a normal schedule, you know what I mean? But then they throw this, oh, well, now you're here. Here's your quota. Here's your...
Right,
here's your this, here's your that. I was like, oh yeah? Well, here's my itinerary. Fucking, I'm going on Metal Maniacs Ball Christmas Tour. See ya.
Right.
Fucking bye.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, so that was I was like, but that, nothing against that. They gave me an opportunity, but I had a better opportunity. You know what I mean? To fucking go out there and fucking tour and play in front of people instead of sell people equipment over the phone and shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
How is your local music scene? Do you, where is that at? How is your local music scene? Do you feel bands support each other, or do you feel that there is a competitive nature?
Really? Man, I always put them up. I never thought about the local scene, you know what I mean? We're always so worried about how we're gonna fucking play a show, you know what I mean? Especially when we started, we had a band house and stuff, so we're just like, okay, we knew about all the other bands in the area, we're all cool because we always go to the bar anyways. So we were always supportive, we were all, you know what I mean? It's just like you always hanging out on shit. It was, if it wasn't for Infamy and fucking in Los Angeles, that's, how we got out to LA. It was just like, Jagger fucking picked us up at the airport. We bought our plane tickets. He booked fucking 5 shows, and it was badass. That was our first taste. He booked our first show at the Whiskey A Go Go. And that's really. We played Al's Bar. He made us build a stage. Fucking, and we played a backyard party in fucking East LA. It was fucking brutal. Fucking, we get off the airplanes like, we're going to go build a stage for tomorrow night. Like, yeah, fucking crates and fucking plywood, and fucking we set up and fucking play. It was cold as fuck. I didn't know California got cold, but it was cold as fuck, man. We had to play outside, but yeah, local scenes, man, if it's not, you all, work together, and you know what I mean? It's just, for us, it was always like, to get to the other side, get to the West Coast. That was like our goal, you know what I mean? It's just like get as far away from
Right.
the local scene as we could possibly get.
Right.
And fucking start, because you tape trade and shit with people and your friends and shit, and you're like, with these guys around the world, these demo bands, and that was like our favorite demo, you know? It was like, you tape trade with, I want to play a show with my favorite, you know, band. Demo band, whoever's got, and you got a demo, you want to play shows with them, you know?
Hell yeah.
Or we did.
That's pretty much it. Cool.